I stood there, the appointment card crumpled tightly in my hand, staring at the calendar where my daughter-in-law had scribbled, "Cancelled, unnecessary." Her words rang in my ears. "You're overreacting, Mom." After years of taking care of everyone else, this was my thanks. She thought she could control my health, my choices, but she had no idea who she was dealing with. Now? Now I'm taking back everything she tried to steal, and it starts with her. We're about to begin, but if you'd like, share where you're joining from. It reminds me this story doesn't echo into silence, it lands somewhere real. Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe. The sunlight filtered weakly through the half-closed blinds as Gloria Myers stood in her tiny kitchen, a cup of decaf trembling slightly in her hand. The morning was quiet, too quiet for a Thursday. She tapped the folded appointment card against the counter, its faded blue ink reading, Dr. Patel, 10:30 a.m., Thursday, March 6th. But the calendar on her fridge told a different story. A red X was scribbled across today's square in unfamiliar handwriting. Below it, in neat cursive, "Cancelled. Don't need it." Gloria stared, her jaw tightening. No one had asked her. The rumble of footsteps overhead signaled Amber's descent. Gloria turned, just in time to see her daughter-in-law glide into the kitchen, clad in gym leggings and a pastel fleece, sipping something green from a stainless steel tumbler. "Oh, you saw?" Amber chirped, not even looking up from her phone. "Don't worry, I took care of it. You're not wasting a copay on some unnecessary checkup." Gloria blinked. "I didn't cancel anything." Amber's smile was syrupy. "You're welcome. You don't need every little checkup just because it's on the calendar. You're overreacting, Gloria. Honestly." Behind her, Ryan hovered at the hallway edge, a paper grocery bag in his arms. He met his mother's eyes, briefly, and then looked away, mumbling something about needing to put the milk away. Gloria's throat felt tight, but she said nothing. She reached for the fridge door, steadying herself with one hand as she peeled the appointment card from under a magnet. It crinkled between her fingers. Amber exhaled dramatically. "We've got dinner with Paul and Jamie tonight, so maybe just relax today? Take a bath or something." Ryan shuffled past, avoiding eye contact. No one spoke as Amber drifted out of the room, phone still glowing in her hand. Gloria stared after her for a long moment, her knuckles white around the appointment card. An hour later, a familiar knock echoed through the townhouse. Two quick raps, a pause, and then one final knock. Nancy Bloom didn't wait for an answer. The door creaked open and her wiry frame appeared, sharp eyes sweeping the room like a nurse checking vitals. "Why weren't you at the clinic?" she asked flatly, tossing her keys on the side table. "I waited in the lobby for 20 damn minutes." Gloria handed her the crumpled card, then pointed silently to the fridge. Nancy stepped closer, read the red scrawl, and her jaw tensed. "She did this?" Nancy hissed. "Amber?" Gloria gave the slightest nod. Nancy let out a bitter laugh and crossed her arms. "She's not your doctor. Hell, she's barely your daughter-in-law. That woman wouldn't know compassion if it bit her on the ass." Gloria moved to the counter and opened a small notebook with a leather cover. She uncapped a black pen and wrote slowly. "March 6th. Dr. Patel appointment cancelled without my consent." Amber wrote on calendar. Ryan said nothing. Nancy looked over her shoulder. "You're logging it now?" Gloria nodded once. "Good," Nancy said. "Start tracking everything. Dates, times, pills, her little sabotage stunts, all of it." "She thinks I'm too old to notice," Gloria murmured. Her voice was calm but cold. "She thinks I'll just accept it." Nancy tilted her head, a slow smile forming. "And will you?" Gloria shut the notebook with a quiet snap. Her eyes, sharp as razors, didn't flinch. "Number, watch me." Outside, the mail truck pulled up. Through the kitchen window, Gloria watched as the carrier slid envelopes into the slot and drove on. One envelope caught her eye. Large, white, official-looking. She stepped over and picked it up. Cleveland County Medical Access Review Board, her name printed in bold. She didn't remember signing up for any medical access review. Gloria peeled the envelope open. Notification: patient access authorization modified by third party. Please verify changes. Her fingers tightened around the page. Amber had gone beyond canceling a single appointment. She was rewriting Gloria's healthcare access. Gloria looked up slowly, the air around her still and dense. "Game on," she whispered. The sky over Cleveland was dull and flat as a sheet of aluminum, the kind of morning that felt like it had no intention of improving. Nancy's rust-red Subaru grumbled down St. Clair Avenue, heater blowing lukewarm air that smelled faintly of old coffee. In the passenger seat, Gloria sat stiffly, her purse clutched in her lap like it might try to escape. Inside it, her leather notebook, her calendar, her blood glucose log, and a fresh copy of the letter from the Medical Access Review Board. Nancy didn't speak much during the drive, but her hand reached over once at a red light and gave Gloria's knee a single, firm pat. It wasn't pity, it was solidarity. The legal aid clinic sat wedged between a payday loan store and a shuttered laundromat, its windows plastered with sun-faded posters about tenant rights and disability claims. The waiting room was no frills. Vinyl chairs, scuffed linoleum, a sad ficus in the corner. But it felt more stable than Gloria had in weeks. A young receptionist with green hair took her name and gestured toward a hallway. "Mr. Cole will see you now. Third door on the left." Inside the office, a man sat behind a cluttered desk, tapping a pen against his chin. He was maybe late 30s, sharp haircut, suit just shy of expensive. The kind of person who looked like he didn't waste time on small talk. His nameplate read, Darius Cole, Esquire. He rose and shook Gloria's hand, firm, respectful, then nodded once to Nancy. "You're here about a medical interference issue?" he asked, flipping open a legal pad. "Start from the beginning. Take your time." Gloria didn't take her time. She spoke plainly, steadily, how the appointments had started disappearing, how the insurance letters came addressed to her, but written in words she hadn't spoken, how Amber smiled while she erased things Gloria didn't realize she'd lost until it was too late. Nancy added details, witness backup, the timing of that March 6th cancellation, and Amber's pattern of controlling behavior over the past year. Darius listened without interrupting, but his pen moved fast. "Do you have any record of what's been canceled?" he asked. Gloria reached into her purse and pulled out her calendar. A small wall version, folded neatly in half. She opened it slowly, each month marked with tidy handwriting, circled dates, and tiny red X's. "Every missed appointment," she said, sliding it toward him. "Every time something vanished." Darius examined it like it was a crime scene map. "Who else has access to your medical account?" "Amber does," Gloria said. "She set up the online portal on her phone. I don't even know the password." Darius leaned back. "Do you remember what the online portal's called?" "My chart," Gloria said. "Cleveland General uses it." "Perfect." He scribbled a note. "We'll subpoena access record, logins, IP addresses, cancellation." He paused. "I need pharmacy logs too. Can you get those?" Gloria nodded once. "I pick up from Fairview CVS. They'll have the refill history." Nancy, arms crossed, smirked. "She logs every pill she swallows." "Smart," Darius said. "What we're looking at isn't just a family spat. It's obstruction, potential fraud, possibly elder abuse." Gloria met his eyes for the first time. "You really think that's what this is?" He didn't hesitate. "This isn't a misunderstanding. It's medical interference. And if she's using your insurance, it may also be theft." Outside the window, a city bus hissed to a stop. Rain had started falling in that annoying sideways slant that seeped under your coat collar. Darius pulled a form from his drawer, slid it across the desk. "Sign here. Retains me as your attorney for medical rights protection." Gloria picked up the pen. Her hand didn't shake this time. As she signed, Darius added, "Keep logging everything. And under no circumstance should you confront her about this. Silence is your leverage right now." Nancy gave a low, wicked laugh. "That'll kill Amber. More than a fight would." Just as Gloria handed back the signed form, Darius's phone buzzed. He glanced down, frowned, then turned the screen toward them. A new notification. "RX refill for Myers. Gloria picked up at 4:12 p.m. today." Gloria's breath caught. "I didn't go to the pharmacy today," she said. Darius's voice dropped to a razor's edge. "Then someone else just did. Using your name." He looked up slowly. "Let's find out who." The clink of a spoon against ceramic was the only sound in the kitchen. Amber sat at the breakfast bar, perfectly made up at 8:15 a.m., swirling yogurt in a glass ramekin like it was a gourmet ritual. Gloria moved behind her, silent as a shadow, pulling her morning meds from the cupboard. Amber didn't look up. "You know, I refilled those for you yesterday." Gloria didn't answer. She just opened the bottle of metformin and carefully counted out 2 pills into her palm. Amber sighed, louder than necessary. You could at least say thank you. If I didn't stay on top of your schedule, you'd forget half this stuff. Still no reply. Gloria placed the pills beside her cereal bowl and reached for her notebook. She clicked her pen and wrote, March 7th. Amber stated she refilled medication without request. Suggested I'd forget on my own. Noted. Amber turned in her stool, face expectant. Gloria closed the notebook, eyes never rising from the page. The silence stretched. Amber gave a hollow laugh. You're seriously keeping score now? Gloria looked at her, not with anger, but with something colder. Restraint, precision. She tucked the notebook under her arm and walked out. That afternoon, Gloria sat in Nancy's living room, a quilt draped over her legs and a file box on the coffee table between them. Sunlight filtered through lace curtains, warming the space, but the mood was surgical. Okay, Nancy said, snapping open a small lockbox, 12 compartments, one for every day, plus 2 extras for as-needed stuff. This one's mine from the hospital days. Still works. Gloria examined it. Metal hinges, a numerical dial on the side, nothing cheap. Nancy handed her a sheet of stickers and a fine-tip Sharpie. Label each dose, date, time. This thing doesn't open without the combo. I'm in, Gloria said, then added, just don't forget the combo. That'd be poetic, but inconvenient. Nancy snorted. Already written in my will? Together they sorted the pills, metformin, low-dose aspirin, lisinopril, counting, logging, labeling. Gloria's fingers moved with an almost clinical calm. Do I call Darius with the refill data? Nancy asked. No, Gloria replied. I want a full week first. Every pickup, every discrepancy. She opened a new section in her notebook and wrote in steady block letters, prescription log, controlled access only. That night, dinner was awkward. Ryan asked how her day was. Gloria answered with 2 words, productive, quiet. Amber tried a different tactic. I hope you're not still upset about the appointment thing. I was just looking out for you. Gloria looked up from her plate and met her eyes calmly. We're past it. Oh, Amber said, blinking. Good. Because I saw a flyer today for a seniors' fall prevention class, and I thought. Gloria stood. She took her plate, rinsed it quietly in the sink, and left the room. Amber blinked again, stunned at the lack of pushback. Ryan looked down at his meatloaf like it held secrets. The next morning, Gloria visited Fairview CVS alone. She asked for her printed medication history. The clerk, a young man with sympathetic eyes, pulled it from the system and handed it over. She flipped through the pages. March 6th, refill pickup, customer signature, A. Myers. Gloria felt her mouth go dry. Amber had signed for it. She took the sheet, folded it carefully, and placed it in a fresh folder labeled in all caps, chain of custody. Meds that night. She slipped the folder into the hollow base of her sewing machine. Let Amber look. She'd never find it. 2 days passed. Silence bloomed like a wallflower. No sarcastic remarks from Gloria. No complaints. No arguments. Just measured, unnerving quiet. And Amber couldn't stand it. You're being weird, she snapped on the 3rd morning. Are you seriously giving me the cold shoulder over helping? Gloria didn't flinch. She simply opened her notebook in full view and made a fresh entry. Amber's face reddened. What are you writing in that damn thing? Still, Gloria said nothing. That evening, as Gloria sat in her room organizing her log, her phone buzzed. A text from Darius. Got something. Appointment log pulled from your MyChart. Multiple cancellations, all from her IP address. This is actionable. I'll walk you through next steps. Gloria stared at the screen, a smile playing at the corner of her lips. She didn't need to raise her voice. She just needed to keep writing. Gloria held the pill in her palm like it was something toxic. It was pale pink, oblong, smooth, and definitely not the round white metformin she'd been taking for over a year. She set it gently on a folded napkin, reached into her locked organizer, and retrieved another from her backup labeled bottle. The difference was obvious. Shape, color, even the imprinted code. Her breath caught. Not panic, not yet. But the silence in the kitchen shifted, suddenly thick with unease. She pulled out her phone, snapped 2 photos side by side, and then reached for the magnifying glass Nancy had given her weeks ago, for sewing, though they both knew better. She checked the code on the pink pill. H10. Not hers. Nancy answered on the second ring. Meet me in 10, Gloria said. Bring your old nurse eyes. 10 minutes later, Nancy stood in Gloria's living room with a flashlight between her teeth and a pill bottle in her hand. She dumped 2 pills onto the table and examined them closely. These aren't 500 milligram metformin, she said, her voice tight. This one's a diuretic. Wrong drug. Wrong class. Gloria's stomach churned. Nancy clicked her tongue. She's not just messing with your appointments anymore. This is straight up dangerous. Gloria retrieved her notebook, flipped to the new section marked dosing discrepancies, and began writing, word by word. Nancy muttered, she's gonna burn for this. I don't want flames, Gloria said. I want a record. The next stop was CVS. Gloria approached the counter with her new photos printed and clipped inside a manila folder. The pharmacist, older, bespectacled, slightly wary, examined them with a slow exhale. This one, Gloria pointed, is what I found in the bottle labeled for me. Do you have the bottle? Gloria nodded and slid it forward. The prescription label bore her name, but the pill inside didn't. The pharmacist adjusted his glasses. These were picked up March 6th. I didn't come in March 6th, Gloria said. He checked the computer. Signature was A. Myers. Of course, sir, she said, lowering her voice but not her intensity. You dispensed the wrong medication into a bottle with my name on it, handed to someone else. I need a record of that. Today. He hesitated, then nodded, disappearing into the back office. When he returned, he handed her a printed refill history, each pickup line time-stamped, each signed, each one since January signed by Amber Myers. Darius didn't need to be told twice. By the time Gloria texted him photos of the pills, the bottle, and the CVS record, he responded in under a minute. Got it. Filing with APS now. This is textbook medical neglect. Then another. Time to bring in Officer Ruiz. Officer Jenna Ruiz arrived the next morning. She stood just under 5'8", with a crisp uniform, curly dark ponytail, and the kind of notepad that meant business. Her badge gleamed under Gloria's foyer light as she flipped to a fresh page. I'll be documenting this as a suspected case of elder medical manipulation, she said after hearing the whole story. Based on what your attorney sent and what you've personally logged, this is actionable. Nancy, seated nearby, leaned forward. Amber's been using her insurance, her MyChart, her pills. What else does she need to steal before someone steps in? Ruiz's eyes were sharp but not unkind. The law moves slow, but it does move. Your documentation speeds it up. And this, she tapped the pill photos, is more than just abuse. It's medical endangerment. Gloria sat back, notebook in her lap. Will I need to testify? She asked. Eventually, Ruiz said. But for now, you just keep doing what you're doing. She looked around. And keep this place secure. If there's been one mistake in Amber's plan, it's underestimating you. After Officer Ruiz left, Gloria sat by the window with a warm cup of tea, her notebook open beside her. The pages were filling fast now. Pill logs, appointment records, screenshots, dates, a life reduced to data points. But a pattern was forming, and patterns were hard to argue with in court. She reached for the pill bottle one more time, turned it in her hand, inspected the label again. That's when she saw it. A tiny sticker she hadn't noticed before. A barcode. She peeled it back. And beneath it, a different name. Ashley Meyer. Not Amber. Ashley. Amber had used an alias. Gloria's hand trembled slightly. Not with fear. With fury. This wasn't just petty control anymore. This was fraud. And it was about to unravel. Gloria watched the cursor blink on the screen like a metronome for dread. Darius's laptop sat open on his desk at the legal aid clinic, flanked by 2 thick manila folders and a ceramic mug that read, "Trust no one without a subpoena." Nancy sat beside her, arms crossed, eyes scanning every movement like a hawk. Darius tapped a few keys. Okay, we got the MyChart metadata this morning. Official subpoena response. He turned the screen toward Gloria. You ready? She nodded. No hesitation. Darius clicked. A spreadsheet opened, rows and rows of logins, cancellations, and IP addresses, each record listed with time, location, and the device ID that accessed it. Darius scrolled slowly. Your account was accessed 32 times in the last 6 months. Gloria furrowed her brow. I've only been on it twice, maybe 3. Darius didn't respond. He highlighted the device name column. The majority read, iPhone 13 Pro, amyers82@gmail.com. Nancy leaned in. Amber's email. Darius pointed. Same device used to cancel 6 appointments, including the one with Dr. Patel on March Kudas. He opened a second tab. The login location history. All logins traced to the Myers household IP, he said, then turned to Gloria. Not a single login came from your address when you were staying at your sister's in December, yet 4 appointments were canceled during that exact window. Gloria's hand tightened on the notebook in her lap. She was making sure I missed them. Nancy's voice dropped, low and disgusted. That witch was editing your care plan like it was her damn Pinterest board. Gloria leaned forward. Can we use this? Oh, Darius said, almost smiling. We're not just using it, we're labeling it for what it is. Medical sabotage. He clicked again, printing copies. The hum of the machine sounded more like the drum roll before a verdict. They waited for Ryan at Nancy's place. Neutral ground. Gloria didn't want him in her home. Not now. Not when his silence was so loud. He showed up late, palms stuffed in his jacket, eyes darting from Gloria to Nancy like he already knew he was cornered. What's this about? He asked, trying to sound casual. Darius didn't look up from his folder. Amber's interference in your mother's medical care. Ryan blinked. She was just helping. Helping? Darius said sharply. You mean logging into her MyChart and canceling her appointments? Refilling the wrong medications under someone else's name? Using an alias, Ashley Meyer, to pick up prescriptions that were tampered with? Ryan paled. Wait, what? Nancy stepped in, voice like steel. You live with her, Ryan. You saw the bottles. You heard the excuses. She said Mom was overwhelmed, he mumbled, eyes falling to the carpet. She said the logins were just to help with reminders. To streamline things. Amber didn't streamline, Darius said. She sabotaged. This isn't some gray area of good intention. She's deliberately compromising a vulnerable adult's medical access and autonomy. That's criminal. Ryan sat down slowly, hands in his lap, looking smaller than Gloria had ever seen him. I didn't know. Gloria stared at her son, not with rage, not with pity, just with clarity. You didn't ask, she said quietly. Later that afternoon, at the courthouse annex, Gloria sat across from a notary public with her documents spread neatly across the table. Nancy sat beside her, posture firm, like she belonged in a courtroom. I'll witness, Nancy said as the clerk pulled out the stamp. Every line of it. The statement was 4 pages long, typed by Darius and double-checked for precision. Gloria reviewed it word by word. Every canceled appointment, every pharmacy discrepancy, every instance of Amber speaking for her, logging in as her, stealing her voice. She signed. The notary stamped. The seal pressed hard enough to ripple the paper. As Gloria handed the statement back to Darius, she caught her reflection in the glass of the annex window. She looked older than she remembered, but sharper too. Focused, unshakable. Nancy placed a hand on her shoulder. Your story's no longer just a record, she said. It's evidence. That evening, Darius called. Officer Ruiz just escalated the case. Elder Abuse Unit is opening a full review. Gloria closed her eyes for a moment, just a beat, then opened them. What happens next? Darius's voice was low, steady. Next, we hit her where she thinks she's safe. Amber Myers was halfway through a sales meeting when the knock came. Her office door creaked open, and a woman in a charcoal blazer stepped inside, crisp envelope in hand. Amber Myers? Amber didn't look up from her laptop. Can it wait? The woman was unmoved. You've been served. The envelope landed softly on her desk, but the sound seemed to echo. Amber stared at it for a beat too long. Outside the conference room glass, her coworkers paused, eyes following the courier. As she strode out without another word, Amber peeled the flap open. Inside, summons, civil complaint, filed under elder abuse, medical interference, and insurance fraud. Filed by Gloria Myers, plaintiff, and Darius Cole, attorney of record. For a long time, Amber didn't move. Then her coffee mug shattered against the wall. Gloria heard the garage door slam before the front door burst open. Amber's heels struck the tile like a storm surge. You vindictive bitch! She screamed. Gloria sat in the sunroom, notebook open, pen already in hand. She didn't flinch. Amber's voice cracked. You think you're clever? Dragging me into court? Ruining my job? I've done everything for you. Gloria looked up, eyes calm. Start over. she said softly. Slower this time. Amber blinked, rage boiling behind her face. Gloria turned the page. Clean sheet. Titled it, March 12th, Home Confrontation, Direct Verbal Threat. You'll regret this, Amber spat. I'll make sure of it. Gloria noted the phrase, punctuating it with a small period. Continue. Amber pointed a trembling finger. You're ruining this family. You did that, Gloria said, tone flat as glass. I'm just documenting it. Nancy arrived 20 minutes later, carrying a paper bag with bananas, a rotisserie chicken, and 2 sleeves of ginger snaps. You all right? She asked after Gloria closed the front door behind her. Gloria nodded once. She screamed. I wrote, good, Nancy said, unloading the grocery. Screaming's loud, but ink is permanent. They sat in the kitchen. The rotisserie chicken steamed gently as they ate in silence. Nancy handed Gloria a fresh yellow folder labeled Defendant Communication. Start keeping her outbursts separate, she said. Judge might want to see those first. Gloria slid in the notes from the sunroom confrontation, sealed the folder shut with a satisfying click. That evening, Officer Ruiz knocked just after dusk, the brim of her patrol cap shadowing her eyes. Just checking in, she said. After the summons, I wanted to confirm you're safe. Gloria welcomed her in, offered tea. Ruiz didn't remove her belt, didn't sit, but she looked around the house, eyes scanning the layout like someone anticipating all angles. She threatened retaliation, Gloria said, handing her the latest notebook entry. Ruiz read it, nodded once. You did the right thing writing it down. Keep doing that. Then Ruiz stepped closer, her voice quieter now. Amber's record just changed. This summons triggered a protective services watch list. From now on, if she does anything, there's a paper trail. Good, Gloria said. She won't see it coming, Ruiz added. People like her never do. They assume no one's watching until the walls close in. Darius called just past 9. The case is building faster than I expected, he said. I've drafted counts for fraud, neglect, and medical access interference. The judge approved a preliminary review and granted us access to Amber's insurance billing. He paused. What she's billed under your name? Gloria, it's a lot. Gloria didn't ask for the total. Not yet. I want every charge, she said instead. Line by line. You'll have them tomorrow. He hesitated before adding, Are you prepared for what this might do to your son? Gloria's voice never wavered. Ryan made his choices, so did I. Later that night, Gloria added a new section to her notebook. Legal Strategy, Phase 2. Below it, she wrote one word in all caps. Restitution. She underlined it twice. The house was quiet. Amber's car hadn't returned since the outburst. And somehow, that quiet was louder than the shouting had ever been. Gloria sat at the dining room table, bills and folders spread out like a war map. Her Medicare card was nowhere to be found. She'd checked every drawer, her wallet, her file box, even under couch cushions. It wasn't misfiled. It was missing. She looked again at the billing summary Darius had dropped off that morning. A highlighted line near the bottom stopped her cold. March 3rd. Preventive Wellness Exam. Patient, Gloria Myers. Location, Private Women's Health Associates Provider, Dr. Elaine Hartswell. Gloria had never been to that clinic in her life. She picked up the phone and called her insurance company. Can you confirm who used my insurance card for that visit? She asked the representative after verifying her identity. A click, then a pause. Yes, Mrs. Myers. The signature on file matches the one we've received for your previous authorization. That can't be, Gloria said calmly. I haven't signed anything in person since my last diabetes panel in January. The rep hesitated. The check-in form was signed by an A. Myers. ID was scanned on site. Gloria's pulse kicked up. Do you have the scan? Yes, ma'am. I want a copy emailed to me immediately. She hung up. Her inbox dinged less than 3 minutes later. She opened the attachment. There it was, her Medicare card. And in the top right corner of the scanned intake form, a neat, rushed signature. Amber L. Myers. Gloria reached for her notebook, flipped to the next clean page and wrote, March 13th. Confirmed use of stolen Medicare card for non-authorized services. Amber impersonated me for personal medical care. At the bottom, in bold, fraud. Documented. Darius picked up on the first ring. She used your insurance for her own exam? He repeated, incredulous. That's federal. Gloria didn't respond right away. She was already filing the paperwork into a red folder labeled IDMISUSE activeinvestigation. I'm filing a formal insurance fraud claim today, he said. This changes the scope of the case entirely. And if she's done it once? Gloria asked. Darius exhaled sharply. Then I'll find the rest, and I'll bury her with it. Officer Ruiz arrived just after lunch, notepad in hand, uniform crisp as ever. Gloria handed her the insurance document, the scan, and her own statement, dated, signed, and notarized. Ruiz flipped through the pages slowly, saying nothing for a moment. This wasn't just about control, she said finally. It's theft, full-blown, calculated theft. Is this chargeable? Gloria asked. Ruiz nodded. Absolutely. Identity theft and insurance fraud. I'll add this to your case report. And I'll notify Adult Protective Services again, with priority status. Gloria handed her the red folder. It's already indexed, she said. Ruiz smiled faintly. You're more organized than half the precinct. As Ruiz left, Nancy appeared at the front door with a sack of oranges and a gleam in her eye. More paperwork? She asked, stepping inside. Gloria nodded. Amber used my card. Doctor visit, different clinic. Nancy whistled low. Damn, she didn't just step in it, she rolled around. She signed my name. On federal insurance, Gloria said. Nancy set the oranges down and pulled out a chair. Every theft, she said, peeling one slowly, is just another nail in her coffin. They sat quietly for a moment, oranges and tea between them. Then Gloria said, almost to herself, she thinks the worst thing I've done is take her to court. Nancy smiled, sharp and knowing. She doesn't know what court really means yet. That night, Gloria sat in her room and opened a new file on her laptop titled Civil Damages, Potential Restitution Tracking. She began listing every fraudulent claim, every tampered prescription, every unauthorized login. Each one had a dollar value now. Each one had weight. The screenshots lit up Darius's phone like a bonfire. It started with one post, a smug selfie of Amber in her Audi, captioned, Taking care of the entitled elderly is exhausting. Maybe she needs a psych eval more than a doctor, free caretaker. Labor sao, cha, some people shouldn't live alone. But then came another, time-stamped just hours after Gloria had filed her identity theft report. If you're gonna sue your own daughter-in-law, make sure you're not demented first. Screenshot this for the court, sweetie. Darius didn't just screenshot. He printed, compiled, indexed. By the time he was done, he had 11 posts, each one more arrogant and venomous than the last, tagged publicly, not even hidden behind privacy settings. They weren't just offensive. They were evidence. Gloria sat beside him at the clinic conference room table, flipping through each page as if inspecting blood work. She posted this after you filed? She asked. Darius nodded grimly. She's taunting. But what she doesn't realize is that cruelty, when it's documented, is as damning as theft. Nancy, seated across from them, let out a low whistle. This isn't just arrogant, it's confession, with a filter and hashtags. Darius placed the packet into a folder labeled Exhibit D, Digital Harassment. I've submitted these to the judge this morning. The posts alone are enough to show malicious intent. And with everything else on file? He paused, looking up. She's going to lose a lot more than pride. The next day, Ryan showed up at Gloria's door. No Amber, just him, hunched inside his winter coat, eyes red like he hadn't slept. Mom, he said, voice already cracking. Can we talk? Gloria opened the door without a word, walked to the kitchen, and sat. He followed like a shadow. I didn't know she was posting all that, he said. I didn't know about the insurance, or the pills, or the login stuff, I swear. You knew enough, Gloria said, not harshly, but firmly. She's spiraling. She thinks she's being attacked. Gloria raised an eyebrow. She committed crimes. She's being held accountable. Ryan sat down across from her, hands clasped like he was praying. She could lose everything. Her job, her license, our house. Your house? Gloria interrupted. On my stolen insurance? He went quiet. She said she was helping, he said finally, almost whispering. Gloria didn't blink. She was helping herself. A long silence stretched. Please, Ryan said. If you drop the case now. Gloria stood, slowly. No, she said. This isn't just about what she did to me. It's about the system she built to erase me. Appointment by appointment, login by login, pill by pill. Her voice didn't shake. Not once. Ryan looked down at the table, and when he stood, he looked older, smaller, like the weight of his complicity was finally settling in. He left without hugging her. Later that afternoon, Darius called. Judge just responded. She's not just allowing the complaint to proceed. She's scheduling a restitution hearing. Gloria closed her eyes, just for a moment, then opened them. When? 4 weeks. Will Amber know? She already does. Amber's reaction was nuclear. She stormed through the house that evening, voice hoarse from rage. "You're ruining our family!" she shrieked. Gloria, sitting on the couch with her notebook and a cup of tea, looked up calmly. "I'm recording this," she said. "You should stop." "You think the court's going to give you a medal for being manipulative?" "No," Gloria said, pen moving. "They'll give me a check." Amber lunged, knocking a photo frame off the side table. It crashed, splintered. Gloria stood slowly, never raising her voice. "Touch one more thing," she said, "and I'll have Officer Ruiz on your doorstep before you can finish your tantrum." Amber stopped, breathing hard. Gloria picked up the broken frame. Inside it, a photo from 10 years ago. Gloria, Ryan, and Amber, smiling on a pier. She placed it face down on the table. "Some things don't get repaired," she said. "This is one of them." The petition arrived in a pale blue folder delivered by a neutral-faced clerk from probate court. Petition for guardianship, filed by Amber L. Myers. Reason: diminished cognitive capacity, memory impairment, unsafe to live alone. Gloria read every word twice, then set the folder down gently on the table. Nancy stared at her from across the kitchen, the veins in her neck rising like cables. "She's saying you're incompetent?" "She's saying I don't remember," Gloria said evenly. "She's about to wish I didn't." At the legal aid office, Darius held the petition with 2 fingers like it was a biohazard. "She really filed this?" he muttered, flipping the pages. "After everything? After the digital records? The pill switch? The insurance theft?" "She's not protecting herself anymore," Gloria said. "She's panicking. She's trying to disqualify you as your own witness," Darius replied, eyes narrowing. "If the court questions your mental capacity, everything you've logged could be cast as unreliable." Nancy leaned forward. "So what's the move?" Darius didn't blink. "We request a full psychological evaluation. Today." 2 days later, Gloria sat in a bright, sterile office with a padded chair, a potted ficus, and a Harvard degree on the wall. Dr. Helen Tran was polite, efficient, and absolutely no nonsense. For 90 minutes, Gloria answered questions about dates, names, medication schedules, family history. She navigated memory tasks, problem-solving games, even spatial awareness tests. At one point, Dr. Tran slid over a sheet of paper. "Can you draw the face of a clock, showing the time as 2:45? Gloria sketched it with steady hands, labeled the numbers precisely, then added a caption underneath. "Unlike Amber, I'm always on time." Dr. Tran looked up, hiding a smirk behind her clipboard. The report arrived 2 days later, embossed, notarized, and damning. Subject demonstrates strong executive function, high short and long-term recall, and above-average emotional regulation. No signs of cognitive decline. Recommendation: patient is fully competent to manage her own care and financial decisions. Additional note: record keeping and self-advocacy are exceptional. Darius nearly threw his pen across the room in triumph. That's the legal equivalent of getting a 1600 on the SAT. Gloria just opened her notebook and wrote a single line. March 19th. Declared competent. Petition anticipated. Petition defeated. Court was packed. Amber wore a charcoal blazer and forced concern, her hair styled just enough to scream, put together professional. Ryan sat stiffly behind her, looking like he wanted to disappear. Gloria walked in with Nancy on one side and Darius on the other. She didn't wear anything flashy, just a simple navy sweater, black slacks, her wedding band, and a gold watch that hadn't ticked in 5 years but still made her feel sharp. Judge Simmons, a woman with a steel bun and a sharper gaze, reviewed the guardianship file for less than 5 minutes before asking the question everyone expected. "On what grounds do you claim Mrs. Myers is incompetent?" Amber stood. "She forgets appointments. She confuses instructions. She's been erratic, vindictive. She's obsessed with—" The judge held up a hand. "Do you have medical documentation to support that claim?" Amber's mouth opened, closed. "Not yet, but I..." And are you aware that a certified evaluation was completed by Dr. Helen Tran just 48 hours ago? Amber blinked. What? The judge lifted the report. She passed with flying colors, and I quote, exceptional record keeping. Do you want to submit your Instagram posts for the court's consideration instead? A ripple of chuckles spread through the gallery. Amber flushed red. I was just concerned. No, Mrs. Myers, the judge cut in. You were attempting to discredit a woman whose only crime appears to be refusing to be erased. She stamped the petition and pushed it aside. Denied. Permanently. After court, Ryan approached Gloria in the hallway, his voice low. I didn't know she filed that. Gloria didn't even look at him. You didn't know, she repeated. You never know. Then she walked away. The email came at 6:42 a.m. Subject: Formal investigative review initiated from Office of the District Attorney, Cuyahoga County, to Darius Cole, Eskerner. Gloria read it twice on her phone before even getting out of bed. At the bottom was one line in bold. Assigned investigator, ADA Susan Rell. Initial review date, March 28. She set the phone down and exhaled. The state was finally in it now. By mid-morning, Officer Ruiz stood in Gloria's living room again, but this time in plain clothes, a thick manila envelope under one arm and a compact recorder in the other. I've filed my full report, she said. Medical interference, prescription fraud, identity theft, and now attempted manipulation of legal status. She slid a copy of the report onto Gloria's kitchen table. I also included her social media posts and the threatening notes. I left nothing out. Gloria leafed through the pages, eyes sharp, steady. Does she know? Ruiz gave a small nod. She will. DA's office is interviewing you next week. It's real now. Nancy, standing near the fridge with her arms crossed, let out a low whistle. She'll need more than a lawyer. She'll need a damn flotation device. Later that day, Darius arrived with new paperwork and his usual legal fire. We're expanding the complaint, he said, opening his laptop. We're adding a formal count for emotional distress and sustained psychological damage. There's precedent. Gloria raised an eyebrow. Based on what? He pulled up the images of the shredded appointment card, the threatening letter, the slashed Medicare copy, and the guardianship stunt. Gloria, he said quietly, most people break under half this. You logged it. You endured it. That suffering has value in court. And frankly, if we don't attach damages, it lets her cruelty off easy. She didn't blink. Do it. Nancy gave a short nod of approval. This isn't revenge, she said. This is truth with teeth. 3 days later, Ryan returned to Gloria's house. No Amber, no coat, no script. He looked tired. I want to cooperate, he said quietly. Gloria didn't invite him in. She stood in the doorway. What changed? She asked. I went through our home office, he said. Amber handled everything. Every login, every bill, every refill. I never questioned it. He pulled a small flash drive from his pocket. This has the bank statements, the emails, her MyChart logins, everything. If it helps. Gloria reached for it, then paused. Did you know about the guardianship filing? Ryan looked at the ground. Not until after. Gloria took the drive, wordless, then closed the door. She locked it behind her. By the following Monday, Darius was in front of Judge Simmons again, petitioning to freeze Amber's access to all of Gloria's records and digital accounts. She's already impersonated the plaintiff, falsified logins, altered medical scheduling, and used stolen insurance credentials, Darius said, voice calm but cold. We believe continued access presents a risk to both the plaintiff's safety and the integrity of ongoing legal proceedings. Amber, seated at the defense table with a new attorney, older, overworked, already tired of her, looked like she'd aged 10 years since her smug courtroom debut. The judge didn't hesitate. Motion granted. All access frozen immediately. Any attempt to circumvent this freeze will be treated as contempt. Amber's jaw clenched, but she said nothing. Gloria didn't even look at her. Outside the courthouse, as the wind kicked up from the lake, Nancy tugged her scarf tighter. She's cornered, she said, and when people like her feel trapped, they only get nastier. Gloria tucked the court order into her folder, zippered it shut. She can get nasty, she said, but now she can't get in. The HR email was short, cold, clinical. Subject: employment termination. Immediate action required. Amber Myers, due to pending legal matters related to alleged insurance fraud and medical identity theft, your access has been revoked and your employment suspended pending full investigation. It hit her inbox at 9:07 a.m. By 10 a.m., her badge didn't scan. A coworker posted a photo of the empty desk to the office group chat with a single caption, "Gone girl." Across town, Ryan sat in a boardroom filled with silence. His supervisor, a thin man in a slate gray suit, set down a printed version of Amber's subpoena, stapled to a spreadsheet of insurance charges flagged under Gloria's name. "You're listed as the household secondary contact on all these," he said flatly. "You approved them." "I didn't know," Ryan said, trying to swallow the crack in his voice. "She handled it all. I didn't touch a thing." "But you benefited," the man replied. "And you never questioned the billing?" Ryan said nothing. "I'm not firing you," his supervisor added. "But you've been moved off client accounts indefinitely. HR will advise next steps." Ryan left with a box of files and the feeling that no one met his eyes on the way out. Gloria, meanwhile, sat in Darius's office reviewing the motion for full restitution. It was 7 pages long, precise and surgical. Every fraudulent charge, every falsified refill, every act of digital interference, Darius had itemized it down to the dollar. "This number's going to sting," he said, tapping the final total. "Restitution, legal fees, psychological evaluation costs, insurance penalty. We're going all in." Gloria traced the number slowly with her finger, then set the page down. "She took pieces of my life one by one," she said. "I'm taking them back in a lump sum." At her next primary care visit, Gloria filled out a single form at the front desk. Medical proxy update. New authorization, none. Patient directs own care. The nurse reviewed it twice. "You sure you don't want to add a backup?" "I've been my own backup for years," Gloria said. Officer Ruiz showed up on a crisp Thursday afternoon with a document in hand and her usual no-nonsense posture. "Restraining orders approved," she said, handing it to Gloria. "Amber's barred from contact, direct, digital, or third party." Gloria scanned the text. "Enforceable today?" "Already filed," Ruiz said. "She can't come near you." Period. Nancy, standing behind her with 2 plastic grocery bags, let out a low whistle. "Takes a lot to get barred in Ohio." Gloria folded the restraining order in half and tucked it into her organizer. "Takes even more to get me to need one." Nancy grinned and raised a bottle of sparkling cider she'd tucked under her coat. "To freedom," she said, uncapping it with a dramatic pop. "They thought you were frail." She handed Gloria a glass. Gloria raised it in return. "I'm ferocious." They clinked. That night, Gloria sat on her back porch with a fleece blanket over her knees and the scent of lake wind drifting up from across town. A robin hopped along the fence. The sun dropped low. She opened her laptop and clicked into the CIVILDAMAGES POTENTIALRESTITUTIONTRACKING file. The spreadsheet was nearly full now. Dates, charges, case numbers, resolution status. Amber's name appeared in 31 of the 34 lines. Soon, a check would arrive. But this was never about money. This was about reclamation. Gloria saved the file and closed the lid. The future was no longer something being stolen, it was hers again. The courtroom was standing room only. Community members filled the benches, nurses from the senior center, a few folks from Gloria's church group, even the Fairview CVS tech who'd helped Gloria pull her prescription records months ago. A quiet army, eyes forward. Amber walked in 5 minutes late, wearing a black suit 2 sizes too big and a hollowed-out stare. Her new attorney followed behind, clutching a briefcase like it might protect him. Darius stood alone at the plaintiff's table, sleeves rolled, binder tabs like teeth. Didn't look over at Amber once. Judge Simmons entered. "All rise." Everyone stood. Everyone sat. "Today we hear final testimony in case number 22, CV4418, the clerk announced. "Myers versus Myers." Darius began with precision, not passion. He didn't need fire. He had facts. "Your Honor, the defendant, Amber Myers, engaged in a documented campaign of medical interference, insurance fraud, digital impersonation, and psychological abuse, all under the false guise of care." He moved to the evidence cart. "This binder contains Pharmacy signatures forged in the plaintiff's name, social media posts demonstrating malice, MyChart access logs traced to Amber's phone, and a guardianship petition deemed fraudulent by both the court and a licensed psychologist. He handed the binder to the bailiff. It hit the judge's bench with weight. Darius turned. "And now, Your Honor, the plaintiff is ready to speak." Gloria stood slowly. She walked to the witness stand on her own. No cane, no hesitation. Sworn in, seated, calm. Her voice was quiet but clear. "She told me I was overreacting, that I didn't need appointment, that I was confused. But I wasn't." She looked at the judge, steady. "She deleted my care, one click at a time." Darius approached. "Mrs. Myers, did you ever consent to Amber managing your medical care?" "No." "Did you grant her permission to access your Medicare information?" "No." "Did you instruct her to cancel your appointments?" "Never." "And who filled those prescriptions?" "Amber." "Who signed the pharmacy slips?" "Amber." "And who's been logging it since December?" Gloria lifted her notebook. "I have." The room was so quiet you could hear the creak of the judge's chair as she leaned forward. Amber's lawyer stood. He looked at Ryan, seated in the back. "I call Ryan Myers to the stand." Ryan approached slowly, eyes sunken, hands twitching slightly. "Mr. Myers," the lawyer said, "you lived with both parties. Can you speak to the reality of this situation? Did your wife abuse your mother?" Ryan opened his mouth, closed it, then whispered, "I don't know what to call it, but I didn't stop it." "Did you know it was happening?" "I ignored it." Amber's mouth opened in shock. "Ryan," the judge slammed the gavel. "You'll remain silent, Mrs. Myers." Darius didn't even bother to smile. An hour later, Judge Simmons returned from chambers with a written decision and she spoke without theatrics. "This court finds that the defendant knowingly and willfully engaged in fraudulent, harmful, and malicious acts against the plaintiff. We grant full restitution in the amount requested, plus legal fees and damages related to emotional distress and medical risk." Amber's breath caught audibly. "Effective immediately," the judge continued, "Ms. Myers will begin repayment under court-monitored wage garnishment. Attempts to interfere will result in contempt charges." Amber's attorney slumped. Amber stared straight ahead, eyes dry, lips pressed so tight they turned white. The gavel dropped. Judgment entered. Court is adjourned. Outside, reporters waited with cameras, and someone handed Gloria a bouquet of daisies. Nancy whispered, "You just wrecked her life. Neatly, permanently." Gloria didn't grin, didn't gloat. "I just wanted mine back," she said. The bankruptcy filing came 2 weeks after the judgment. Chapter 13. Filed quietly. No press release. Just a grim PDF attached to an email from Amber's third attorney. Gloria read it once, then again. No rage, no thrill, just closure. In the filing, $62,000 in court-ordered restitution, $14,300 in legal penalty, $7,800 in unpaid insurance clawbacks, a wage garnishment order attached to every paycheck for the next 7 years. A note from the trustee explained, non-dischargeable debts due to proven fraud. Amber couldn't walk away from it. She could only pay. The first restitution check arrived in an envelope with the state seal and a line of barcode digit. Amount, $217.38. Memo, wage disbursement, case number 22-CV-4418. Gloria didn't cash it right away. She placed it gently on the mantel, beneath the photo of her late husband and the red folder that had started it all. She stared at it for a long while, not because it was money, but because it meant the court believed her. The world had put it in writing. By the second check, the routine had become strangely comforting. Open envelope, scan amount, log deposit, file copy and binder. Each time, she scribbled one quiet line in her notebook. Repayment received. Recovery ongoing. Nancy noticed the stack building by the toaster one morning. "You keeping all of them?" "For now," Gloria said. "They're proof." Nancy raised a brow. "Of what?" Gloria looked up. "That she couldn't erase me." 3 weeks after the hearing, Ryan came by. Not to plead, not to excuse, just to say what he hadn't before. "She's staying with her sister now," he said, standing on Gloria's porch with a paper coffee cup and a guilt-stained stare. "We're filing papers." Gloria stepped out, folding her arms. "Divorce?" He nodded. "I should have seen it. What she was doing. What I let her do." Gloria didn't nod. didn't soften. You saw pieces, she said, and you looked away. Ryan didn't argue. She used our address to open a new credit line, he said quietly. Used your name as a reference, even after everything. Gloria closed her eyes briefly. You'll tell Darius, she said. I already did. He handed her the coffee. It's black, no sugar. She took it. Not as forgiveness, just as fact. Officer Ruiz stopped by that afternoon. She stood at the kitchen counter, flipping through the finalized garnishment order like it was a case study. She gambled with your health, she said. Now she's bankrupt. She paused, tapping the paper. And you're solvent, stronger than ever. Gloria didn't smile, but something settled in her shoulders. She never thought it would cost her, she said. She thought your silence was weakness, Ruiz replied. Nancy, who'd just walked in with a tote full of soup cans and mail, chimed in. She thought you'd go quietly. Gloria looked at them both. Instead, I made her pay loudly. Ruiz reached for her badge, clipped it back to her belt. We don't always get endings like this, she said. Most folks never document. They crumble. But you came out with files and fire. She headed for the door. Gloria called after her. Ruiz? The officer turned. Thank you, Gloria said simply. Ruiz's reply was soft. Number, thank you. You reminded the system what a fight looks like when it's clean, cold, and written down. Later, as evening settled in, Nancy sat on the porch swing beside Gloria, 2 mugs of mint tea steaming between them. You know, Nancy said, stretching her legs, you're sharper than any scalpel I ever used in the OR. Gloria chuckled. I'm just accurate. No, Nancy said. You're surgical. They clinked mugs, and for the first time in months, Gloria didn't feel like she was holding her breath anymore. She felt restored. The podium was too tall. Gloria adjusted the mic with calm precision, hands steady, navy blazer sharp against the stage lights. The conference banner above her read, Empowerment Through Autonomy, Seniors Leading the Way. Below it, rows of chairs filled with advocates, caregivers, lawyers, and older adults who looked exactly like her, only quieter. Still watching, she cleared her throat. My name is Gloria Myers. I'm 74 years old, and this year I sued my daughter-in-law for medical fraud. Not a murmur, not a cough, just rapt attention. Gloria didn't pace or posture. She didn't gesture wildly. She simply told the story. Measured, factual, precise. The fake logins, the canceled appointments, the pills switched, the guardianship petition. I started by writing things down, not because I thought it would go to court, because I knew no one would believe me unless I could prove it. She held up a slim red notebook, not for drama, just for proof. I never raised my voice, she continued. She expected a fight. Instead, I gave her the truth, and then I let the law speak for me. Silence hung a beat too long. Then came the sound of hands, slow, then louder, swelling. A full standing ovation. Gloria blinked once, then smiled. Not for herself, but because it meant others had heard. 2 days later, the Cleveland Register ran a Sunday feature under a bold headline, Senior Outsmarts Daughter-in-Law in Courtroom Showdown subheading. Her voice was quiet. Her records weren't. There was a photo. Gloria at the conference, mid-speech, notebook in one hand, and a steel gray streak falling across her cheek. Dignified, undeterred. Nancy clipped it and slid it into a plastic sleeve. For the scrapbook, she said, handing it over with a wink. You went viral. Modestly, Gloria laughed. That headline makes me sound like a sitcom plot. Nancy shrugged. The best justice stories do. The following week, Darius called. You might want to sit down, he said. Gloria rolled her eyes and sat anyway. You've been nominated for the Ohio Elder Justice Trailblazer Award. She stared at the phone. That's a mouthful. It's real, he said. You'll be honored at the state conference in June. You're being recognized as a community advocate. Gloria sipped her tea. I didn't do it for recognition. I know, Darius said. That's why they're giving it to you. The mail came late that Thursday. Most of it was junk. Cable ads, coupons, the usual. But one envelope stood out. Thick paper, no return address, handwriting she hadn't seen in weeks. Amber's. Nancy spotted it on the counter. You going to open it? No, Gloria said, without even a glance. I'm going to return it. She walked it straight to the mailbox, wrote in neat capital letters across the front. Return to sender. No forwarding. Nancy watched from the porch, arms folded. She really thought you'd miss her voice. Gloria tucked her hands in her coat. She never learned how dangerous silence could be. That night they sat in Gloria's living room, soft jazz on the stereo, her laptop glowing open on the coffee table. The spreadsheet was done. Case files closed. Darius had said she could rest, but Gloria didn't feel finished. She clicked open a new document, blank. Titled it, What I Wish I Knew Before They Called It Caregiving. Nancy peered over her shoulder. Another record? A guide, Gloria said. So the next woman like me doesn't have to learn the hard way. Nancy raised her glass of cider again. Told you silence could be deadly. Gloria clinked her glass with hers. Only when it's sharp, she said. The wind off Lake Erie was sharp enough to sting. Gloria liked that. It kept her awake. She sat on a bench just beyond the bluffs, fleece blanket wrapped around her knees, Nancy beside her with a thermos full of ginger tea and an old fishing hat pulled low to shield her eyes. It's too damn cold for sentiment, Nancy muttered, pouring them each a cup. That's why I picked today, Gloria replied. The lake stretched wide and endless before them, gray-blue with white caps that flashed like teeth. Her hair whipped across her cheek, and she let it. They sat in silence for a long moment, not because they had nothing to say, but because sometimes peace wasn't loud. Then Gloria's phone buzzed. Darius. She answered on speaker, voice already bracing. It's done, he said. The DA's office finalized charges, fraud, identity misuse, coercive interference. No appeal filed, no deals made. She's stuck with it. Nancy let out a low exhale. Gloria closed her eyes and breathed in the cold. I'll mark it down, she said. Back home, she pulled her paper calendar off the hook and flipped to the new month. April. For the first time in 2 years, the boxes weren't blank. She picked up her pen and wrote in block letters. April 4th, physical therapy. April 11th, blood panel. April 18th, eye exam. April 25th, lunch with Nancy appointments. Real ones. Heron, no cancellation, no aliases, no interference. Just her, managing her own care again. She circled each date, twice. That afternoon, she walked into Shoreline Credit Union and opened a new account. The manager was polite, younger than her youngest niece, and didn't ask unnecessary questions. Gloria signed her name cleanly, requested paper statements, and declined overdraft protection with a knowing smirk. Name on the account, Gloria A. Myers. Only name, only signature. I'll handle everything myself, she said. The manager nodded. I believe you. That night, her blog post went live. She titled it, Don't Cancel Me, Cancel Her Comfort. She didn't hold back. She told the story again. But this time, it wasn't just about survival. It was about warning, about watching for the signs, about what happens when a caretaker's kindness turns into control. By morning, it had over 40,000 views. By afternoon, 65. She opened the comments section cautiously, tea in hand, breath steady. Some were angry, some were weeping. One caught her eye. My mom's nurse canceled her meds and said she was too dramatic. I thought I was overreacting when I got suspicious. I read your post, and now she's safe. You made me fight for her. Thank you. Gloria didn't respond publicly. She didn't need to, but she printed it, slid it into her red folder, and underlined the phrase, You made me fight. The sun dipped low again. Nancy stopped by with cinnamon scones and a look that said she was proud without needing to say it out loud. Gloria raised her cup. To full custody of my future. Nancy toasted her back. And full eviction of parasite. They laughed. Then Gloria said, more to herself than anyone. She canceled my doctor appointment and said I was overreacting. She took a long sip of tea. So I prescribed her a lifetime of legal misery. Nancy burst into a cackle, half snorted her tea. Gloria didn't laugh. She just turned the page of her calendar to May. Already penciled in were 5 new appointments, a weekend book fair, and a community board meeting on elder rights. Because she wasn't just back, she was building forward, quietly, sharply, and no one would ever cancel her again.